There are 8 motorcycle brands that nobody is buying anymore, and only stupid riders still do. While the motorcycle industry is in a state of free fall, a clear divide has emerged between informed riders and those who fall for marketing hype. These 8 brands have become financial traps, plagued by catastrophic depreciation and reliability issues. You were told that buying from a legendary brand was a smart move. That was a lie designed to sell you an overpriced, under-engineered status symbol. In this video, we are exposing the 8 brands that have become the official motorcycles of bad decisions. We will show you the data that proves they are terrible investments. You need to watch until the end, because the brand at number 1 is an American icon that has built its entire modern identity on a foundation of deception. Suzuki was once the undisputed king of sport bikes. Their GSX-R line revolutionized the industry, dominating both racetracks and sales floors. But today, their showroom models collect dust while competitors fly out the door. What happened to this former giant? The painful truth is that Suzuki has completely lost its performance crown. While brands like Yamaha and Kawasaki push forward with cutting-edge technology and design innovation, Suzuki seems trapped in a time warp. Their current GSX-R lineup feels like a relic from 2012, with minimal updates beyond graphics packages and minor tweaks that barely register against the competition's complete redesigns. Visit any dealership and you will see the depressing reality. Row after row of unsold Suzukis, while the Yamaha R1s, Kawasaki Ninjas, and Ducati Panigales disappear within days of arrival. Dealers are practically begging buyers to take Suzukis off their hands, offering discounts that would have been unthinkable during the brand's heyday. The competition has not just caught up, they have blown past Suzuki in every measurable category. Power-to-weight ratios, electronics packages, suspension components, Suzuki now lags in specs that once defined their dominance. Their reluctance to embrace ride-by-wire technology and advanced rider aids has left them selling motorcycles that feel dangerously outdated compared to their rivals. This stagnation has triggered a collapse in resale values that should terrify any potential buyer. New Suzuki sport bikes lose up to 40% of their value within just 2 years, nearly double the depreciation rate of comparable Yamahas and Kawasaki's. That creates a vicious cycle. As resale values plummet, fewer buyers risk purchasing new models, leading to even weaker demand in the used market. The most damning evidence comes from the sport bike community itself. On forums and at track days, the once revered GSX-R is increasingly referred to as a budget option or beginner bike, terms that would have been sacrilege a decade ago. Experienced riders who once proudly sported Suzuki gear now view the brand as mechanical museum pieces, relics to be remembered fondly but not seriously considered for purchase. Kawasaki sport bikes may still command respect, but their cruisers tell a completely different story. The Vulcan lineup has become the textbook definition of market irrelevance, with sales figures so dismal that industry insiders question why they have not abandoned the segment entirely. The numbers do not lie. While Harley-Davidson and Indian consistently maintain their cruiser market share, despite industry-wide sales declines, Kawasaki's cruiser sales have plummeted by over 35% in the past 5 years. Dealerships report Vulcans sitting on showroom floors for 9 months or more, 3 times longer than the industry average. Kawasaki's failure to innovate in the cruiser segment is almost painful to witness. While competitors have introduced modern features like sophisticated infotainment systems, improved ergonomics, and performance enhancements, the Vulcan lineup remains essentially unchanged. The Vulcan S, their most innovative offering, is powered by a modified Ninja 650 engine, a half-hearted attempt that fails to excite either sport bike enthusiasts or traditional cruiser riders. The brand positioning disaster is even more fundamental. Kawasaki's sterling reputation for high-performance sport bikes actually undermines their cruiser credibility. Cruiser buyers seek authentic heritage and specialized expertise, qualities Kawasaki has never established in this segment. They are caught in a no-man's land, producing cruisers without the authentic American heritage of Harley or Indian, nor the technical sophistication of their Japanese competitors. This market confusion has devastated resale values. 3-year-old Vulcans typically sell for from 50% to 55% of their original manufacturer suggested retail price, compared to Harley-Davidsons that routinely retain from 70% to 75% of their value over the same period. This creates a toxic cycle. As existing owners realize the financial hit they have taken, they warn others away from the brand. Perhaps most telling is Kawasaki's virtual invisibility in the cruiser market consciousness. In recent consumer surveys, when asked to name cruiser manufacturers, less than 20% of respondents mentioned Kawasaki without prompting. Despite their decades in the segment, they have become so irrelevant that many potential buyers do not even realize they make cruisers. Triumph's struggles in the United States represent one of the most dramatic market collapses in modern motorcycling. Once positioned as the sophisticated European alternative to Harley-Davidson, Triumph's United States market share has contracted by a staggering 28% over the past 5 years, with certain regions seeing dealership closures at an alarming rate. Their obsessive focus on retro aesthetics has become a strategic trap. While the Bonneville line initially captivated riders seeking vintage style with modern reliability, the market has evolved, while Triumph remains stubbornly fixed on nostalgia. Their new model releases increasingly feel like variations on the same retro theme, minor styling adjustments masquerading as innovation, while competitors push forward with genuinely new concepts and technologies. Dealer desperation has reached crisis levels. Industry reports reveal that Triumph dealerships now offer average incentives of $2,500 to $3,000 per bike, nearly triple what was standard just 3 years ago. Some dealers admit to selling certain models at or below cost simply to move inventory and maintain their franchise agreements. When manufacturers force dealers into these practices, it signals a brand in serious trouble. The cultural disconnect between Triumph's British heritage marketing and United States rider preferences has grown into an unbridgeable chasm. Their advertising continues to emphasize European sophistication and historical legacy, messages that fail to resonate with United States riders increasingly focused on performance metrics, technological features, and value proposition. The days when British heritage justified premium pricing are long gone. This relevance crisis is most evident among younger riders who represent the future of motorcycling. In consumer studies, riders under 35 consistently rank Triumph near the bottom of brands they would consider purchasing, describing them as old-fashioned, overpriced, and something my dad would ride. Without this next generation of buyers, Triumph's United States presence faces an existential threat. Behind Ducati's carefully cultivated image of Italian excellence lies a troubling reality. Their premium pricing strategy has backfired catastrophically. While their high-end models still attract wealthy collectors, street bike sales have collapsed as riders increasingly question the value of paying 30 to 40% more than comparable Japanese bikes for questionable reliability and astronomical maintenance costs. Those maintenance costs have become Ducati's Achilles heel. Owners report spending an average of $1,200 to $1,800 annually on routine maintenance, more than triple the cost of comparable Japanese motorcycles. The desmodromic valve system requires specialized service that can cost over $2,000 for a major service interval, creating a financial burden that has driven away all but the most devoted enthusiasts. This widening gap between passion and practicality reveals the fundamental problem with Ducati's business model. Their marketing creates emotional desire, but that connection crumbles when owners face the cold financial reality of ownership. Dealer surveys show that nearly 60% of potential Ducati customers who test ride ultimately buy from another manufacturer, and they cite maintenance concerns as the primary reason. The inventory crisis at dealerships has reached critical levels. Industry data shows Ducati motorcycles now spend an average of 160 days on showroom floors before selling, nearly double the industry average of 86 days. That stagnation forces dealers into significant price reductions, undermining the premium positioning Ducati worked decades to establish. Most revealing is the growing rebellion against the Italian engineering tax. The premium buyers once willingly paid for Italian design and heritage. Today's more informed consumers increasingly recognize that the premium delivers questionable value. In blind comparison tests where riders evaluate motorcycles without brand identification, Ducati models consistently score lower on value metrics than their price points would suggest, indicating that the brand name, rather than the actual riding experience, has been carrying sales. BMW's carefully cultivated image as the gold standard in luxury touring motorcycles is crumbling under scrutiny. Their once dominant position has eroded steadily, with touring market share declining by 22% over 5 years, as riders discover that alternatives from Yamaha, Honda, and even Harley-Davidson offer comparable or superior touring experiences without BMW's punishing cost of ownership. The price-value equation has become impossible to justify. New BMW touring models typically command a 25 to 35% premium over comparable Japanese alternatives. Yet independent testing reveals marginal or non-existent advantages in key performance metrics. Their vaunted German engineering no longer translates to measurable superiority in reliability. In fact, Consumer Reports data shows BMW motorcycles experiencing 60% more mechanical problems in the first 3 years of ownership than Japanese competitors. Maintenance anxiety has become the defining characteristic of BMW ownership. The proprietary nature of their systems means routine service typically must be performed at dealerships, where labor rates average 40% higher than independent shops. Owners report spending between $1,500 and $2,200 annually on maintenance, costs that continue to rise as models become increasingly complex with each generation. The rejection by younger riders represents an existential threat to BMW's future. Industry surveys reveal that riders under 40 consistently rank BMW among the least desirable brands, describing them as overpriced, pretentious, and for old men with too much money. This perception problem extends beyond economics. BMW has failed to create cultural relevance with the next generation of touring riders who seek experiences rather than status symbols. Despite aggressive marketing campaigns and frequent model updates, BMW's sales figures tell the real story. While the overall touring segment has contracted by about 15% industry-wide, BMW's decline has been nearly double that rate. Dealers report flooring loans extended well beyond the normal 90-day period as unsold units linger. The uncomfortable truth is that BMW's touring bikes have transformed from aspirational purchases to cautionary tales. The 2017 shutdown of Victory motorcycles by parent company Polaris stands as perhaps the most catastrophic corporate abandonment in modern motorcycle history. What is truly shocking is not just that Polaris pulled the plug, it is the callous way they left loyal customers stranded with rapidly depreciating assets and diminishing support. The collapse created a gaping void in American motorcycle manufacturing. Victory had positioned itself as the performance-oriented alternative to Harley-Davidson, with models that combined American styling with genuinely innovative engineering. Their disappearance left the market with fewer American-made options, precisely when consumer interest in domestic manufacturing was resurging. For owners, the financial impact was immediate and devastating. Pre-shutdown, Victory motorcycles retained approximately 70% of their value after 3 years, comparable to Harley-Davidson. After the announcement, that figure plummeted to less than 40%, with some models losing half their value overnight. Owners who had invested $20,000 plus in what they believed was a premium American motorcycle suddenly found themselves with assets worth a fraction of their purchase price. The long-term consequences for these loyal customers are even more troubling. Despite Polaris's promises of parts support for 10 years, owners report increasing difficulty obtaining critical components. Independent mechanics increasingly refuse to work on Victory motorcycles due to parts availability issues. What was once a source of pride has become a burden, with owners facing the choice between expensive repairs or accepting massive financial losses. The corporate irresponsibility demonstrated in Victory's closure represents everything wrong with how motorcycle manufacturers treat their customers. Polaris effectively sacrificed Victory to focus resources on Indian motorcycles, another historic brand they had acquired, leaving thousands of loyal customers as collateral damage. The message was clear: brand loyalty means nothing when corporate strategy changes. Beneath Yamaha's reputation for solid engineering lies a troubling reality. Their street bikes are experiencing a sales crisis the company seems unable to address. While overall motorcycle sales appear stable because of strong off-road and sports segments, the street bike division has seen a 31% decline in North American market share over 5 years, losses that industry analysts describe as structural rather than cyclical. The company's marketing and style deficits have become impossible to ignore. Competitors like Kawasaki and Honda have embraced bold design languages and aggressive marketing campaigns that resonate with younger riders. Yamaha's approach remains conservative to the point of invisibility. Their street models, particularly the FZMT series, look virtually identical across generations, with updates so subtle that even enthusiasts struggle to identify current model years. This brand stagnation has triggered alarming erosion in resale values. Data from major auction houses and online marketplaces shows Yamaha street models depreciating 15 to 20% faster than direct competitors over the first 3 years of ownership. For buyers, that translates to thousands of dollars in lost value, turning what should be passionate purchases into poor financial decisions. Perhaps most concerning is how thoroughly competitors have leapfrogged Yamaha's former advantages. Their once legendary reliability is now matched by Honda and Kawasaki, while brands like KTM and Ducati have surged ahead in performance and technology implementation. Yamaha's conservative approach to innovation has left them selling essentially the same motorcycles for years, while the competition evolves rapidly. The loss of market relevance is most evident among style-conscious riders who increasingly view Yamaha street bikes as forgettable and generic. In consumer perception studies, participants struggle to identify distinctive characteristics of Yamaha's street lineup, describing them as bland, unmemorable, and lacking personality. When a brand fails to create emotional connections in a passion-driven purchase category, you have lost the fundamental battle for consumer attention. Number 1. Harley-Davidson. The shocking truth about Harley-Davidson is that America's most iconic motorcycle brand has built its modern identity on a carefully constructed myth that is rapidly collapsing. Their once passionate cult following is systematically abandoning the brand, as the gap between marketing promises and ownership reality becomes impossible to ignore. The price inflation disaster lies at the heart of Harley-Davidson's decline. While production costs have increased moderately, Harley-Davidson has raised prices at nearly triple the rate of inflation, with new models routinely commanding premiums of 30 to 40% compared with similar models just a decade ago. Aggressive dealer markups further inflate these numbers, with popular models often selling for thousands of dollars above MSRP during peak seasons. This pricing strategy has driven cost-conscious buyers to Japanese and European alternatives that deliver superior performance at lower price points. The inventory crisis at dealerships has reached unprecedented levels. Industry data shows that Harley-Davidson motorcycles now spend an average of 180 days on showroom floors before selling, more than double the industry average and nearly triple Harley-Davidson's own historical numbers. Dealers increasingly resort to drastic discounts and manufacturer incentives that can exceed $3,000 per unit, desperate measures that undermine brand prestige and train consumers to wait for sales rather than paying MSRP. The fundamental gap between Harley-Davidson's heritage marketing and the ownership reality has become unbridgeable. Their advertising continues to sell an idealized American freedom narrative, while owners contend with outdated technology, mediocre performance, and reliability issues that plague their complex V-twin engines. Consumer satisfaction surveys show Harley owners reporting mechanical problems at nearly twice the rate of Japanese motorcycle owners during the first 3 years, directly contradicting the brand's quality messaging. What makes Harley-Davidson's position truly indefensible is their calculated exploitation of the American motorcycle myth, the idea that buying American automatically means buying superior quality. The empirical evidence tells a different story. Harley-Davidson motorcycles consistently underperform in objective measurements of reliability, maintenance costs, and performance per dollar. Their entire business model depends on convincing buyers that emotional connection to American heritage justifies accepting objectively inferior products at premium prices. The uncomfortable truth is that Harley-Davidson has become the ultimate status symbol for uninformed riders. Their purchase decisions are not based on research or rational evaluation, but on absorbing marketing narratives designed to separate them from their money. Every new Harley-Davidson purchase has become a monument to the buyer's willingness to prioritize image over substance, and the market is finally catching on to this deception. The collapse of these 8 motorcycle brands reveals a fundamental truth. The motorcycle market has split into informed riders who demand actual value, and uninformed consumers who buy marketing narratives. These brands chose style over substance, heritage over innovation, and pricing strategies that extract maximum profit from minimum investment. Smart riders have figured this out and voted with their wallets. The only people still buying these brands are those who have not done their homework, and they are paying for it through catastrophic depreciation, reliability nightmares, and the crushing realization that they have been sold an expensive lie. The divide between informed and uninformed motorcycle buyers continues to widen. Have you fallen victim to any of these brands' marketing tactics? Which of these 8 do you think will be first to admit they have lost touch with what riders actually want? Subscribe now as we continue exposing the brands taking your money while celebrating those delivering real value. The truth about motorcycling is changing. Make sure you are on the right side of motorcycle history.